At NASA, 2019 was the year of the woman, yet women still are a big minority at the space agency. At NASA, 2019 could be called the year of the woman. In October, astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir completed the first all-female spacewalk. Koch also is on her way toward 328 days aboard the International Space Station, the longest single space mission by a woman. Meanwhile, NASA is planning a lunar mission called Artemis, named after the twin sister of Apollo, which, the agency says, would put the next man and the first woman on the moon by 2024. The aerospace industry also boasts an unprecedented number of women in high-ranking positions, including Leanne Caret, who leads Boeing's Defense and Space Division, and Gwynne Shotwell, the president and chief operating officer of SpaceX. But for all the high-profile appointments and record-breaking feats, women remain an overwhelming minority among the rank and file at NASA and in the wider industry. Women make up only about a third of NASA's workforce. They comprise just 28% of senior executive leadership positions and are only 16% of senior scientific employees, according to a survey done by the agency. In the aerospace industry, only 24% of employees are women, and there has been little change in years, according to a study done by Aviation Week. For many, another example of how far the agency has to go came just a few weeks ago when NASA announced its honor awards, what it calls its highest form of recognition to employees and contractors. In total, 42 people were honored. All but 2 were men. "We haven't moved very much in the last 30 years in overall diversity," said Mary Lynn Dittmar, the president and CEO of the Coalition for Deep Space Exploration, an industry group. "Aerospace is still heavily male and white, and we're not moving very quickly." Though perhaps not as overt as the early days of the space agency, when women were hidden figures, sexism persists in an industry long dominated by white men. That has led women to leave science and engineering jobs at rates higher than their male counterparts. Women still struggle to get a foothold in the industry and often find themselves the only women in meetings dominated by men. Or being asked to fetch coffee. Or being called honey. "That's Dr. Honey to you, and the coffee machine is down the hall and to the right," is how Dittmar, who has worked in senior positions at Boeing and as an advisor to NASA, responds. "Frankly, those attitudes have gotten better, but they haven't completely gone away," said Ellen Stofan, the head of the National Air and Space Museum, who previously served as NASA's chief scientist. "To pretend they have does not help us understand why women get paid 80 cents on the dollar and are still only making up 16 to 30% of the workforce." While the aerospace industry hasn't been swept up in the recent #Me. For more on this story, visit the news article link.